As we all know, aviation is one of the most polluting industries in the world. It's responsible for about 2.5% of all carbon dioxide emissions. But did you know that planes produce 400 times more CO2 per person than cars? And even though planes only make up for 1.2% of global CO2 emissions, their impact is much higher because they emit nitrogen oxides and particulate matter, which trap heat in our lower atmosphere. Now, obviously, this needs to change if we want any hope of reaching net zero by 2050. So, will electric jets save the day? Or are they too good to be true? Welcome to the channel. Today, we're going to find out everything you need to know about zero-emission jets. Could they really revolutionize air travel? Or are they just another pipe dream? Let's get into it. All planes today use jet fuel, a refined kerosene that burns like diesel in a car and produces thrust to propel the plane forward. Obviously, burning fossil fuels isn't ideal, so the quest for alternative fuels has been underway for some time now. But the problem with the quest for alternative fuels is that you can just take regular jet fuel and swap it out for something else without a whole lot of plane and infrastructure changes. It's not as easy as filling up your car with E85. There are a few promising biofuel options, but none of them are great for long-haul flights. Sustainable aviation fuel, or SAF, made from things like used cooking oil or municipal solid waste, is promising, okay, but it's expensive and still emits carbon dioxide. Hydrogen-powered planes have also been proposed, but they would require hydrogen fueling stations at airports around the world, plus the infrastructure to produce and distribute hydrogen. Plus, there's the issue of how to store hydrogen efficiently on board the plane. All of these challenges mean that current efforts to decarbonize aviation are focusing on efficiency improvements rather than new fuel sources. Planes are getting better and better at getting where they need to go while using less fuel. But what if instead of trying to improve the internal combustion engine, we could skip that step altogether? What if we could make electric planes? Before you say it, yes, battery-powered planes already exist. They're just not quite ready for the level of performance and safety required for commercial aviation yet. But with investments from every major manufacturer and a clear goal of making short-haul flights zero-emission by 2025, they may be closer than ever. One of the main obstacles to making fully electric planes is weight. Batteries are heavy. It takes about 160 watt-hours of energy to fly 1 watt-hour of electric plane. By comparison, a gasoline engine is about 30 to 40 times more energy dense. That means an all-electric plane would need a lot more batteries to reach the same range and payload capacity of a conventional plane. And those extra batteries add extra weight, which reduces efficiency even further. But battery technology is improving. Since July of 2021, Airbus announced its latest iteration of the all-electric Airbus 380E3, a modified version of its A3-3300 passenger jetliner. The E3 is powered by 8 electric motors, each connected to an oversized propeller. The motor generators are mounted behind the wing and connect back to a central gearbox. The batteries are stored in 2 large pods that replace the center tank. These batteries are liquid metal ion cells developed by the French company L-Ring, which promise high energy, density, and fast charging. Airbus says these batteries are lighter and hold more energy than traditional lithium-ion batteries. Airbus believes the 8380E3 can fly 1,000 nautical miles, enough to cover about half of all short-haul flights with only 2 battery charges. To keep the plane airborne longer, the engineers added a solar panel canopy over the cockpit and additional photovoltaic panels along the fuselage, which will provide 10 kilowatts of power and enable the plane to fly up to 2,000 nautical miles. But for most short-haul flights, the plane would need to tap into its battery reserves because it can harvest energy from the air itself. As the plane flies, the turbines powering the electric motors generate electricity from the kinetic energy of the air flowing over them. This electricity is then fed back into the batteries. effectively recharging them while the plane is in the air. This process is known as autogeneration and is a common feature in hybrid cars. The batteries in the Airbus 380 E3 will be able to hold a charge for up to 160 hours, meaning the plane could sit on the tarmac for days without needing to be plugged in. The battery system on the E3 is so efficient that it can convert 95% of its electrical power into thrust, compared to just 30% efficiency for a typical jet engine. It may seem counterintuitive, but a battery-powered plane could actually be faster than a jet, without the constraints of turbofan engines, which need to spin at high speeds to generate thrust. The propellers on the E3 can move through the air more efficiently and increase the plane's top speed to Mach 1.5. That means it could cruise at 1,100 miles per hour, almost twice the speed of sound. There are other benefits to having an electric motor drive the propellers. For example, they don't suffer from the efficiency losses caused by turbulence, allowing them to maintain high speeds at lower altitudes. Because the plane doesn't burn fuel, it would also be silent, reducing noise pollution at airports and allowing it to land and take off at night. But will it be cheap? It's probably the most important question. Will the plane be affordable for budget airlines and long-haul routes? Or will it just be a luxury toy for the rich? Affordability comes down to two factors: purchase price and operating costs. Electric planes will likely cost more initially, but as battery costs fall, that gap will narrow. The real game changer is operating costs. Electric planes will use far less energy to fly the same distance, cutting fuel bills and maintenance costs. It's estimated that running an electric plane will be about 80% cheaper than running a conventional jet. Now that we've seen the incredible potential of electric planes, let's talk about the hurdles. First is regulation. AA has certified some experimental electric aircraft, but no commercial aircraft yet. It's unclear whether existing certification standards for commercial planes can accommodate all electric propulsion systems. Regulators will need to figure out things like how to certify battery systems, electric motors, and the plane software before they can sign off on any design. Then there's the plane software. As with any computer system, it's critical to ensure the software powering an electric plane is reliable and secure. A single bug could cause catastrophic damage, and the parts themselves are a concern. Unlike conventional planes, which have been in production for decades, many components on an electric plane are unproven and could fail unexpectedly. And then there's the grid. Most airports today aren't equipped to support widespread electrification. They need to install EV chargers at their gates and build new systems for distributing electricity across terminals and hangars. Then there's the issue of what happens when the plane runs out of power. There's no equivalent of a runway on an electric plane, so airports will need to plan for landing procedures in case of emergency. But the biggest hurdle is probably cost. With an upfront cost roughly double that of conventional jets, it's unclear who will pay the difference. Airlines typically finance new planes through loans, but banks will be reluctant to lend on new, untested technologies. The European Union has pledged funding for the development of electric planes, but it's unclear whether the US will follow suit. It might seem like we're close to having electric planes crisscrossing our skies, but in reality, we're still years away from seeing them become commonplace. The Airbus 380 E3 won't enter service until at least 2030, which is a far cry from the company's original goal of 2025. Even then, it'll likely be relegated to short-haul routes and won't touch the massive amounts of carbon waste spewed out by long-haul flights. And remember, electric planes are only one piece of the pie. We'll also need to reduce demand for air travel, promote more sustainable practices in the industry, and invest in ways to remove CO2 from the atmosphere. But with companies like Airbus, Boeing, Safran, and others working hard to bring battery-powered planes to market, the future looks bright for aviation. Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please consider supporting us. We'd appreciate it.